Okay, gather around. It's time for another video. And before I get into this video, just want to tell all of you that I'm making this video on my brand new smartphone. My new smartphone is a Motorola. And what I have here is my old LG smartphone, which I did videos on. And I also made that video, made two parts of the my 2023 Mediterranean cruise ship video. Yeah, where I sailed on the Mediterranean Sea and went to some countries like Italy, Greece, Turkey, and Cyprus. Yeah, yeah, I made those two videos with this smartphone right here. And why I got a new smartphone, because I kept dropping this smartphone all the time, and it's broken and it doesn't work anymore. So I'm gonna take it to Best Buy and have it destroyed. So there's no point in me having this, and it's completely useless. Okay. So anyway, enough of that. On to this video. You guys saw the title of this video. It's titled, "I Got Bitten by a Snake." Okay, after I made a video about me traveling to some cities, traveling to an abandoned gas station in Grand Saline here in Texas on US Highway 80. Yeah, that video which I made last week on Sunday. Yeah, after I made that video and before I got ready to post it, I went and cooked myself some food. I cooked myself some catfish nuggets with some Louisiana fish fry on it, hush puppies, and French fries, curly fries, and a fruit and vegetable salad. Now the salad contains chopped up strawberries, blueberries, green grapes, strawberries, cucumbers, and broccoli. Yeah, that's my fruit and vegetable salad. Okay, after I ate my food, and I think after I got done cleaning up, I went to the front door. I opened up the front door to look out, and I felt something bit me. I said, "Ah, ah, ah!" I looked down. And I saw a wiggly thing that was wiggling around. It was a worm, and I knew it was a baby snake. It was a hatchling. It was a copperhead. Yeah, it crawled between the screen door and the front door to my house, because the screen door doesn't shut and it pops open. If you shut and close it, it won't stay shut. It will pop open. So the screen door is old. So I went and immediately tried to call my sister, and on my new smartphone, which I'm making this video on, and I tried to call my sister, and I tried to call her, and I couldn't know. I didn't know her phone number or phone number to her smartphone. So I ran out of the house and ran to her house just up the street from where I live. And I knocked on the door, and my sister said, "Who is it?" I said, "It's me. It's me, Richard." So my sister opened up the door, and I told my sister I got bitten by a snake. So she goes and calls 911, and the ambulance came and the paramedics came. And after I got bitten, I could feel the pain from the snake bite. It was excruciating. It was painful, and And the paramedics checked me. They checked my foot. Well, the snake bit me on my right foot, and they checked my right foot and couldn't find no holes on my foot from the snake biting me. But the snake bit me, and so they put me in. So I was put into an ambulance, and I was taken to the hospital. And on the way to the hospital, I was in the ambulance with a woman who was one of the paramedics. Um, she just asked me questions. How much I weigh, what's my date of birth, and she checked my blood pressure. Yeah, then I got to the hospital. I was taken to a room, and I told the people there, I got bitten by a snake, and I did my best to explain to them how I got bitten by the snake. I told them, I told everybody there, like nurses who did an X-ray on my foot, and asked me questions like how many countries I've been to. I didn't want to name all the countries because they don't want to hear all of that, so I didn't want to do that. So yeah. So after that, they so after yeah, actually the hospital I went to I told them I told this person in the ambulance I want to go to a private clinic, a private hospital, and I made the worst mistake on that because those private hospitals here in the U.S. are incredibly cold. I mean, the care is worse. So I should have chose to go to a regular hospital, but I was in so much pain. I just chose whatever I wanted, and so that's all on me on that. Just checking my smartphone. Yeah, checking the time on it, see if it's working. Yeah, and okay, yeah, the pain on my right foot where the snake bit me at, it was excruciating. It was painful, and okay, I was sitting in the waiting room. They put me in the waiting room after they gave me some medication in one of the private rooms and asked me questions. So they put me in the waiting room, and my parents came and want to know if I'm okay. I sat in the waiting room with my parents. They rolled me out in a wheelchair and had me get up and sit in the chair. It was my fault. I should have told them I want to be in a wheelchair. And they said they want to give me a wheelchair so I could sit in the wheelchair in the waiting room with my parents. And they never gave me a wheelchair. I was just sitting in a chair with my parents in the waiting room like I was being waited on to get care. Yeah, being queued up in the waiting queue. Okay, we waited. They came out and rolled out a wheelchair. I got in the wheelchair and said they're gonna take me to the X-ray room to have my foot X-rated. And one of the other nurses asked me like what happened. I told them I got bit by a snake and how it happened. So they X-rayed my foot and they rolled me back out to the waiting queue, and I waited the waiting queue in the waiting room, and I waited along with my parents for my results. And my foot was in pain. My right foot was in pain. Then throughout the wait, my foot just swelled up like a balloon. It was completely bloated, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. So I waited, and they came. One of the nurses came out and said how I'm feeling, and I said, well, the pain is gone, and I feel okay. And he said, okay, and he walked away. And I knew that I couldn't walk because my foot was completely bloated and my leg was completely bloated. So after that, waiting and waiting and waiting until they came out and said that I was it was an insect bite, and it was, and they just let me go home, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk, and I told these people, hey, can you give me a wheelchair? I need to be rolled out of here because I can't walk. Yeah, I couldn't walk because my foot was completely swollen. Okay, one of the nurses came out with a wheelchair. I got into it. And they rolled me out to my dad's pickup truck, and I got in the pickup truck, and my dad and my mom drove me home. And when I got out of the truck after my dad drove me to my house, I just hopped on one foot, and there was a walker in the garage of my house, and I used that. I didn't want to do that because I might scratch one of the cars in the garage, and I couldn't get around. So I went in the house and went and got some crutches, and I just walked around on crutches. My foot was completely swollen. I couldn't walk. So after that, I try my best to get around and get something to eat or get something to drink. It was no use. I couldn't walk, and I was on crutches, and I needed someone to help me. So yeah, after that struggle of going back and forth from the kitchen to one of the bedrooms in this house, my house, yeah, I got in bed, and I'll turn on the TV and watch streaming on Amazon Fire TV, and watched a movie, an old black and white movie from the 1950s called The Wild One, starring Marlon Brando. It's an old outlaw biker gang movie, and I watched it like 5 times. Yeah, I watched it about 5 times, and I liked the movie. So I kicked back and relaxed in the bed and watched the movie. And I got done watching the movie. I went to sleep, went to bed, turned the TV off, and struggled to get around to turn the TV off because my foot was completely swollen and bloated from the snake bite. And the hospital or the clinic that I went to misdiagnosed it as an insect bite, saying that I got stung by a wasp. Okay, after that, the next day, I had a doctor's appointment with my doctor, and my sister came over, and I told my sister to come over and cook me some breakfast the next day. Okay, I was in my room. I was in one of the bedrooms in my house, and my sister was in the kitchen cooking me some breakfast, like waffles, sausage, and I think when I was in the bathroom, taking a tub bath, I heard my sister talking to someone on the phone. And I heard my sister say that there's a snake in the house. There is a snake in the house. I am scared. There's a snake in the house. So she told my dad about it. So animal control was called. My sister called animal control to come over and kill the snake. Get the snake out of the house and kill it. Okay. I didn't go and see it because I couldn't get around because my foot was completely swollen. My right foot was completely swollen and bloated. My sister told animal control to get rid of the snake and kill the snake. Okay, the animal control came over and put a bucket over the snake. It was in the living room of this house. The snake was a hatchling. It was a copperhead hatchling, a copperhead snake. It was getting ready to get out of the baby snake phase. And I knew for a fact that when that snake bit me last week on Sunday, I knew that when a baby snake bites you, that baby snake doesn't have control of its venom. It will release all of its venom in you, and it could kill you. And I knew that when it bit me, I knew I was in trouble. I knew I was in danger. I had to get help, and I did. Yeah. Anyway, animal control got the snake out of the out of the house after they put it in a bucket. When they put it in the bucket, they killed the snake. My dad, who's a retired police officer, he had a gun and a baton. He was ready to kill that snake with his gun or even with his baton. So yeah, okay. I went to the doctor. Okay, my sister took me to the doctor because I asked her to take me to the doctor because I had a doctor's appointment. It was just a simple like health checkup. Then after that, she took me home. Then she was fearful and she think that it wasn't an insect bite because she saw that my leg along with my foot was swollen and bloated. So I was taken to a hospital. I was taken to the hospital, and they drew some blood from me at the hospital. The doctors and nurses. Then they put me in a treatment room to get some anti venom, and okay, we waited and waited, and waited. They had to call poison control for the anti venom and waited for like hours and hours and hours, and come to find out, the doctor came in and told me that they were going to give me any anti venom and said, since your foot and your leg is completely swollen, I mean, to reduce the swelling, just prop your foot on a pillow, your foot in your leg, my right foot and my right leg. Just put the pillow underneath my right foot and my right leg to reduce the swelling. And they said that and they just let me go. My dad didn't like this. My sister told my cousins about it. They were shocked about it. And my sister called those people at the hospital a bunch of jackasses. And they were acting like a bunch of jackasses there. My dad wanted to put me in another hospital, like miles away or kilometers away from where I live, to another hospital. And my dad tried to get me there and told me I got bitten by a snake. Those people at those nurses and doctors at that hospital told my dad the same thing that the people at the hospital I went to, the other hospital I went to, told me. Just put my foot and my leg on a pillow and put a pillow underneath my foot and my leg, and that will reduce the swelling. So yeah, and my sister took me to buy some medication, some steroids and some Benadryl for the pain. So I took the steroids up, and I'm still taking the Benadryl. So I'm recovering from the snake bite. Yeah, right now I can walk. Right now, I have to stay with my sister at her place because I couldn't do anything for myself at my house because my foot in my right foot and my right leg was completely bloated and swollen. So I had to stay at my sister's house. And I didn't like staying at my sister's house because her house was a complete mess. Like, she put me in this room where she has so much shit in it. Purses, everything. Like I couldn't see the TV. There was a TV in there. I couldn't watch TV because she had so much crap in the way. But I'm not gonna get into that. So I stayed at my sister's house, and I got to where that as the days went by, the swelling went down, and I could walk, and as the days went by, came back to this house, my house, and I'm doing okay right now. The swelling has been completely reduced. I'm still, I'm walking with a limp. And I don't need the crutches anymore. So the swelling went down for me to walk, and I'm getting some feeling back in my foot and my leg. But when it was complete, but in my right leg and my right foot, but when they were both completely bloated and swollen, I couldn't get around. I couldn't walk. I had to hobble on crutches to get around. So right now I'm walking. I'm walking really well, but I'm still walking with a limp. But by next month, my foot and my right foot and my right leg will be back to normal. And turns out the baby snake that bit me was full of bacteria, and he couldn't inject a lot of venom in me. So I guess he was still developing, but the animal control cut his head off, and my sister got a picture of the snake that bit me on her smartphone. It was a copperhead. I was confused on, okay, a copperhead or a water moccasin. Okay, some say the copperhead is a water moccasin because a water moccasin is a water snake. Okay, and I want to say this to all of you. I'm no stranger of getting bit by a snake. I got bitten by a snake when I was a little boy living in California. And I have that scar on the leg which was bloated. Yeah, my right leg and my right foot. I mean, the leg that was bloated. I got bitten by I got bitten by I got bitten by a snake in California on my right leg. So now I got bitten by two snakes. Yeah, an adult snake and a hatchling. So I got bitten by a snake in California as a child, and I got bitten by a snake here in Texas. So yeah, so that was a very wild, crazy experience for me. And also I don't want to. I'm sorry to mislead all of you. I went to the hospital. I think Monday. Yeah, I went to the hospital Monday last week from Sunday last week. Yeah, after I went to my doctor for a health checkup. So I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. So yeah. So I'm thinking about, if that snake was venomous and it bit me, I wouldn't be here making this video. I'll be dead. And a funeral will be planned for my death. So I'm glad that I thank God that I'm still alive. So it'll suck for me to die in a shitty country like the United States. And oh yeah, I experienced these two hospitals that I went to, and let me tell you, if you guys who live in another country, let me tell you something about the American healthcare system. It is ridiculous. It is cruel. It is effed up, and it makes no sense. It's a healthcare system that benefits the wealthy. It doesn't benefit poor, ordinary, average day people. It just benefits the wealthy. I believe that healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. In this healthcare system that I'm under here in the U.S., I gotta sign forms. I gotta show I gotta show a proof of health insurance. Sign papers, ask stupid questions, ask if my health care and my address is the same. Do I have health insurance? I guess some of you who are watching this video from a country outside the U.S., if you're watching this video in a country that has a national public healthcare system or a single payer public universal healthcare system, the healthcare system here in the U.S. it's ridiculous. It's cruel. It's not normal. People here in the U.S. just take this system and they grew up around this system. I grew up around this system like it's normal, and after seeing the American healthcare system, by hearing stories from people who live outside the U.S. and seeing it through European eyes or foreign eyes outside of America or the United States, I just see just how completely insane the American healthcare system is. Because, it's a pay-to-play system. It's based on wealth. If you don't have any money, you die. And in this country, in the U.S., there's people out there who lack a form of basic health insurance. They have no health care. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to defend the system and say it's great. And I'm not going to say that universal health care or national health care system is perfect. I'm not going to say it's perfect and wonderful. I'm not going to say these universal healthcare systems or national healthcare systems are perfect. They have their problems. And they do. They have their problems, but those healthcare systems are better than the healthcare here in my country. And I just can't wait to leave this country. I can't wait. I feel miserable here. It sucks. You can't talk to anybody. You can't socialize with anybody. You can't meet that. Yeah, as a single heterosexual male, you can't meet a woman or a girl. Get to know her, meet her, get to know her. Being a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship with her, or end up marrying her, and she ends up as your wife. Yeah, you can't meet anybody here. So yeah, I'm still recovering from the snake bite. I can walk now. My foot and my right foot and my right leg isn't bloated anymore. So I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. You know, but before that, my leg and my foot was completely bloated. I wasn't doing so well. I was in pain. I couldn't walk. I was hobbling on crutches. So yeah, just want to tell you guys what happened to me after I made that video last week on Sunday of me going on a road trip on US 80. Stopping at an abandoned gas station and going to Grand Saline to film part of that, and I was approached by an old man who asked me what I was doing. And I told him what I was doing. I said, well, am I doing something that's wrong? He said, no, you weren't doing anything wrong. And I had a conversation with him. I talked to him. It's sad, I just talked to an old man, and I parked my car in a parking lot that was across the street from this church, and there was some young people talking to each other in a car, and they didn't come over and talk to me. So yeah. So yeah, they're just saying, and this is from Winston Wu, you can't talk to people who grew up in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, like Generation X, Millennials, Generation Z, or Generation Z. You can't talk to those people, but you can talk to baby boomers. Those are only group of people in America you can talk to, like the older people, the old folks. You can't talk to Generation X. You can't talk to people from Generation X. You can't talk to people from the millennial generation, my generation, and you can't talk to people from Generation Z or Generation Z. Because, how you talk to people here in the U.S., you don't talk to people unless it's for business related, or if you're in someone's area, they tell you, please back away from me, stay away from me. You stay in your space and I'll stay in my space. Then when you talk to those people, they don't want to talk to you. And the women are worse here in the U.S. The only people, you can't talk to the women here in the U.S. because they're defensive and paranoid and they're all business. And the only people you can talk to is the men. The only people you can talk to is men. The only people you can talk to is people with an Adam's apple, a penis, and a scrotum sack. You can't talk to anybody. You can't talk to someone who has a vagina, ovaries, and breasts. Yeah, people who can bear children. You can't talk to those people because they don't want to talk to you. They don't want to have anything to do with you because they're fearful of you. They're scared of you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to have anything to do with you. And you got some men who are like that too, so I'm not going to say that you can talk to all men. So yeah, I'm doing okay. I can walk. So that's all I gotta say in this video, and thank you for watching the video. Thank you. So that's all I gotta say. This is Richard of the New Manchester YouTube channel saying signing out. Cheers and au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Take care. Bye. See you on the next one. Okay, let me add one more thing and I'll be done. Okay, after my foot and my leg swelled up, and after I left the clinic, where the clinic I went to, they diagnosed snake bite as an insect bite. So I had to hop around. I had to hop on one leg because I couldn't. I had to hop on my left leg because I couldn't walk on my right leg because my foot in the leg, the right foot in the right leg was completely bloated from the snake bite, completely swelled up. I couldn't. Yeah, I was hopping around. Then when I got home, I couldn't walk on that walker, so I hopped into the house, hopped all the way. I hopped all the way to a closet that had the heating and cooling unit, the air conditioner / heater. I opened that door to get some crutches out, to get around. And yeah, like it was, like I was trying to get something to eat or snack on. I don't snack all the time. Just get something to drink. Yeah, I was holding stuff. I was on crutches on one leg. I couldn't get around. Yeah, I was hopping around. It was like I was hopping. Yeah, it was hilarious though. And how did my sister discover a snake in this house? Well, this is scary. I spent Sunday night in a house with a snake. The snake that bit me. After the snake bit me, the hatchling bit me, the snake crawled under a grandfather clock in the foyer next to the front door. That's connected to the living room of my house. I spent the night with a snake. I think when my sister cooked some breakfast for me, after Sunday morning into Monday morning, she cooked me some breakfast, and she told people that she sat down and she looked on the floor, and she was in the living room. She looked onto the floor, and she thought it was a piece of shit or some crud or something gross on the floor, and she said, "This is disgusting. Like, Richard cleans up good in this house. Like, he would never leave something gross on the floor." And when she saw what was on the floor, it was the snake that bit me. It was the copperhead hatchling snake that bit me. So that scared my sister. She called 911. Not 911, but she called animal. She called my dad, and she called animal control. Well, she called animal control first, then she called my dad. Told my dad there was a snake in the house, in this house that I'm in. Okay, okay. Yeah, the animal control got the snake out, put him in a bucket, and took the snake outside in the bucket, cut the head off, and killed the snake. And the snake head was moving, and the snake head was trying to bite people, still trying to bite people, and the other half was wiggling around. So apparently that snake is dead now. So my sister saw that my foot was completely swollen, and also half of my leg was swollen. My right leg and my right foot was completely swollen. She knew it was an insect bite. Insect bite. It was a snake bite. So yeah, just want to add this into the video. You know, it's hard to like try to come up with something to think about. And yeah, yes, the video is long. So what? If you don't like it, don't watch it. All right, I'm out.